Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout 3. So finally we are going to play through the main story. We basically have exhausted everything else, and much to my surprise, there was a lot less opportunity to get XP than I thought, but almost certainly we still will get to max level. Uh, the level up system in this game is problematic to say the least, in that it doesn't seem like there's any way to really overpower yourself. And it's been designed using a system to just increasingly give you less XP for every over the average number of kills you have for any amount of enemies. Um, One of the things I'm also going to try and do is that I think I lean too much into the microphone like that when I start, because I'm leaning forward, hitting a button on my keyboard to start recording, and that doesn't sound particularly good. So I'm going to try and be more laid back. There is also a question in the previous episode as to why the Chinese were creating a special um, fire designed, or fire damage inflicting weapon in America. It almost implies that there are no resources whatsoever in out uh, in China, which that seems kind of hard to believe. Uh, Certainly, yeah. I also assume that since there were super mutants in this facility to start with, I have to just assume that had I been doing the main story the normal way, I would have been given a task to clear out the super mutants first, instead of finding all these humans just wandering around. Because we've effectively turned this into yet another city, although who kind of cares either? It's not like any of the cities have helped. Uh, when you see the fact that there is flamethrowers and a now fire inflicting uh, gun, one special gun that is a handgun that does fire damage, it certainly highlights where something like Borderlands took that concept and took it to a much better idea. It would have made a lot of sense for there to have been some laser electrical damage dealing weapons that would have been very useful against all the robots in the game. It would have made a lot of sense for there to be acid weapons that would have worked well against mole rats and humans, but not so well against like super mutants and rad roaches. Um, it would make sense for electrical
Hello.
to not affect
What
mole
do you
rats.
need?
Hmm. Let's see, we have a whole character here named Garza.
I have worked for Dr. Lee for many years. She has been good to
Hmm.
me, helped me through some difficult times. I had little purpose in my life before she helped me. So now I help her in return. I am no scientist, but I am good with machines.
See, I think these are just the people who were in Rivet City originally, and they've just been moved.
If Dr. Lee says it will work, then it will be so.
So I almost wonder
Bye.
if there is actually nobody guarding all that fresh food in Rivet City. Intercom doesn't work. Yeah. Let's see, we have like centaur bodies. They didn't despawn or anything. So, yeah. And it's not like this area has been massively changed or cleaned up.
Oh, great. Listen, I know who you are,
Hmm.
okay? Far as I'm concerned, you've got no business being here, so just stay out of my way.
I don't know this character. He may be new.
Unlike some people around here, I stuck with Dr. Lee through it all. I was the last one to leave when we finally gave up. Now your daddy shows up out of the blue, and suddenly I have to drop everything to come back and help pick up the pieces. Sure. No matter that he disappears for almost 20 years, leaving us all hanging.
I get why you'd be upset.
Lives or anything.
Certainly, too. Like, Project Purity has such potential of doing good. To abandon the project just to raise your daughter can certainly be taken as a selfish thing, but a very human thing. Whereas I could see people saying, no, you should have raised your daughter and continued to work on Project Purity, or you should have just abandoned the daughter at the vault, and then continued working on Project Purity. None of those options are particularly great.
The hell do you care? You showed up here, what, 5 minutes ago, and now you're strutting around
5 minutes
like
ago, it's been like over 100 hours.
Why don't you go do whatever it is you're supposed to be doing and leave me alone? Besides the fact that you shouldn't be here, don't touch anything you're not told to. There's enough to do around here without having to clean up after you.
It's funny that this is not marked.
Not if you keep asking.
So there's more responses.
Keep your hands to yourself in there. This equipment is fragile.
Like, we didn't really need 2 responses to, do you think Project Purity will ever work? Taft tunnels. Do I have the key to Taft tunnels? Nope. So that may take us somewhere. And I wonder if some of these ash piles are stopping people from walking their normal routes. I doubt it.
Hey there. I hear we have you to thank for getting us up and running again.
Is there really any major value in talking to these people other than the fact that this is the main story and it's basically the only story we're going to get? We've spent hundreds of hours running through dungeons and buildings and killing a lot of things with no real story. Now, in fairness, to get back to the Borderlands concept, like, the story in Borderlands 1 is paper thin and it works fine. You're just given a quest to go kill somebody for almost every quest. It works well. You go, you shoot somebody. Sometimes you'll get a funny cutscene, and that's what this game, I think, definitely is missing a lot of, as it tries to be serious in a very unserious world. It's very hard to take this world seriously, and it really should be more tongue-in-cheek comedy. But yeah, we don't have the main character go on rants or react in any way. We don't have any of the characters we talk to really go in long speeches where they have more than a couple sentences of dialogue, so it's not anything memorable at all. Like, Moira is probably the most interesting, well-written character in the entire game, and she's not written well by normal standards.
Nothing special. I grew up in Rivet City and was always interested in what the scientists were doing there. Dr. Lee took me under her wing and taught me everything I know. Dan and I were out in the field when we got the call to come back.
There is a interesting question, certainly, about Dr. Lee. Is she Japanese? Is she Chinese? Is she secretly working for the Chinese? Are the Chinese secretly the good guys now, 200 years later? You just don't know. We don't even know if the Chinese are still alive.
I don't see why not. Between Dr. Lee and your dad, we've got the best minds on the job. They can do just about anything. Yeah,
well, we do
I think we'll
see
be up and running in no time.
Lots of white people and a lot of dark-skinned, of African descent looking people. We don't seem to really see any Mexicans, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mexico was like almost completely eradicated in some previous acquisition war. We don't see, we don't hear any Australian accents. We don't see any like native Africans that we can place, or Europeans that we can place, or Russians. We So it's seemingly keeping it fairly limited. So it might be a case that there isn't actually that many people alive on the planet, which you kind of would hope that wouldn't be the case. That would be the bad way to write the general canon, is to say that in this 2277 time frame, almost everybody on the planet is dead, and there is no new Enclave, there is no new Brotherhood of Steel, there isn't a point on the planet where technology and science still manages to really exist. And because then it just becomes a hopeless scenario that it doesn't matter how many Fallout games you make, the world is doomed to end.
I'd steer clear of the water if I were you. It's seeping in from the tidal basin, which means it's radioactive. If that's not bad enough, if there are any loose wires as the power comes back on, you might get a bit of a jolt. Know what I mean?
So apparently you might even be able to take electrical damage in that fashion, but they still didn't program any electrical weapons. You could easily have made a system where certain weapons either randomly had, or by specific construction, had extra effects. And that's where you would get to Borderlands 1. Fire effects. And electrical effects. And let's see, armor piercing effects would be a good one. 2. And maybe even water effects, although I don't know how you have a water effect gun. What you probably would do is radiation effects in Fallout. So yeah, fire, armor piercing, radiation, electrical, and normal.
She's certainly head and shoulders above most everyone
Apparently,
else
I've already
around here.
talked to this character.
Oh, that's not saying much. Yeah, see you.
So yeah, there's not a lot going on here. This way goes to the memorial sub-basement, which I don't think we really need to go to the memorial sub-basement. I think we just go to the Jefferson Rotunda, and this gets us here. It's kind of insanely ironic that this is like the most interested place that the creators have. This rotunda is the thing that they keep bringing you back to look at when you just actively walk through a door. What are you really seeing? You're seeing this first, and it doesn't ever bring your eyes up. It doesn't bring your eyes over here. Like a little load screen there. You come in here, you're seeing this first. What this tells me is I should just walk directly to the gift shop and not even bring the eyes this direction to look up here and see. Then you can walk over this whole area and find that there's absolutely nothing here. You can't jump in that water and swim. Even if you could trick your way into this area, it wouldn't really do you any good. It was incredibly difficult to just find out that there was a log here, and that log led to us going to the next part in the main story.
Hey there.
You'd almost expect that there's some kind of human in there, but no, it's just a statue of Jefferson. They just built this tank around it.
Just be careful what you touch in here, okay? The equipment's old enough as it is.
Let's see. Now, notice to the left of her is a key pad that is really big, and it's basically an experiment that they're going to try at the very end of the game to put in a code, and you don't use it anywhere else in the game. And kind of thank goodness you don't use it anywhere else in the game. It's definitely something that should have been ripped out in favor of just a computer terminal or something that requires a specific physical key. That obviously changing the gameplay mechanics at the very last seconds is an insane thing. I can't help but feel like that's kind of how this entire game was designed, is that there were a lot of ideas that there was no oversight at all as far as how you were going to create it, how you were going to keep the game design and the concepts similar from one area to another area. And then somewhere around halfway through development, somebody came in and said, well, every place needs a safe. Every safe needs a computer terminal to hack in case they can't open the safe. You could easily see in most scenarios those being completely ripped out of the game. And that had you fill in safes and computer terminals. They probably made similar things that said every place needs ammunition buckets, every place needs some level of junk in it, but there seems to be no consistency, like in the previous episode where we found the porn store. Clearly somebody just made that without having to get approval first, and they said, okay, you've made this room and done this design, so we'll throw it in the game because we can't possibly leave anything on the cutting room floor, but we'll do absolutely nothing with it, so there won't be any quest or anything associated with it, which makes the game feel like it was half finished or even less than half finished. And in a lot of ways it kind of is, because if you're making a game that is just the cutting and pasting of abandoned concepts and ideas, it's never going to feel consistent.
I've been with Dr. Lee for about 10 years now. She needed an assistant, and I needed something to do. It was either this or wind up dead in a ditch someplace, you know? I sure hope so. Or
So
it's
what?
just going to crush
I
Dr.
guess
Lee's
just
vision,
trying to talk to everybody
especially after your father came
until
back
we
to life.
find the right person.
Dr. Lee has been waiting to come back here for 20 years, okay? 20. That's a long time. This is important. We can't afford to screw it up. So long.
Yeah, if I talk to everybody in this area and it turns out that none of them are the people I need to talk to,
What can I do for you?
then
Farewell.
Dr. Lee has this weird shadow on her jawline, almost like her face has been slit, like the Joker. Yeah, if I talk to everybody, there he is. I assume that's who we're looking to talk to. Yeah. If you look at the blinking yellow line, we needed to talk to him. If he wasn't around, he seems to have kind of an odd walking pattern. He's still wearing the Vault 101 outfit, which I guess makes sense.
Here we are, where it all began. You remember your mother's favorite passage? Revelation 21:6. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. Don't you see? This is what it all means. The water, the purifier. This is the water of life. Your mother's dream.
He's a little
No point in
crazy.
wasting time. Let's get to work. There's much to be done.
It would be interesting to give you a note on that. It would be kind of surprising if religion survived, Christianity survived 200 years in the future completely unchanged after such a major upheaval of the bombs dropping. Because in a lot of ways, if Christianity was to be taken so literally and bombs dropped, you would just have to assume that this is the apocalypse and everybody is effectively that's still alive was left behind, Um,
The project was abandoned shortly after you were born. Things have deteriorated here since then, and there's been some flooding. I'll need you to get to the flood control pumps and activate them so we can clear out the water and reach the mainframe.
why me? Can't someone else go? Like, why even have that as an option in a video game?
The automatic doors sealed when the flooding occurred, so you'll have to use the access tunnels to reach the pumps.
Okay. So now we need to turn on the flood power pump. Which, okay. And see, there's this auxiliary filtration input that you can activate, but I have no real reason why I would activate it.
Is everything all right?
So let's look at the note. There is a quest that we can do. And we'll have to remind ourselves next time we're out. If we turn on the radio around Vault 101, there should be a signal really close to it that would let us get back into Vault 101. Or we should go back and check it even if we're not getting the radio signal. See, markers. Remove the marker. We finally, after 3 or 4 loads, have finally gotten back to where the system actually helps you. Okay. Alright. It's fairly easy to get, like, turned around here. We can't get in there. So...
You're doing great out there. Keep it up. Good luck, honey.
So now we can use the intercoms to talk to the guy. Talk to our dad. Have we been here? Almost certainly. Yeah. So, unless we respawned in here, we are now... This door is not powered up. Okay, this was an area we couldn't access before. And in a funny way, we're in a different situation now where it would have certainly been nice if these had either despawned or turned into a single character. I'm not sure any game has ever done this, but it would be very nice for the first kill outside of a level, as soon as you load into a dungeon, the first kill doesn't despawn, and then slowly over time, all the other kills do despawn, and the items in that first kill, all the items end up on that first kill. Now, how do you explain that storyline wise? That's a little bit more difficult to explain, certainly, but yeah, it would be gameplay wise a very good way to fix the Bethesda save game problem that has haunted like Skyrim, Fallout 3. I don't know if maybe Fallout 4 found some fix for it, but the save games having to save the location of effectively every piece of junk that gets bounced around, and the location of every dead body that could be anywhere in the entire game. I don't even know why I'm bothering to double check an area. It's not like it's going to be anything particularly that good. Alright. This map is so zoomed in. And I'm not going to find scrap or anything. this is where the father was living at some point and left a bunch of notes, which still doesn't really make sense because there were super mutants all over the place.
Great work on the pumps. Hurry back, and I'll give you the fuses you need.
See, this definitely feels like an experiment in them maybe, I don't know, trying to get you to go through the same level multiple times. But that doesn't make sense unless they were going to really embrace the idea that these would have been really, really strong super mutants and you were supposed to somehow stealth your way into and out of the place. But this game never commits to making you do a stealth mission, unlike Skyrim, which does address this, and a lot of the problems certainly get addressed in Skyrim.
Is
But
everything all right?
there's still a lot of problems.
Is it true? Did you really disarm the bomb in Megaton?
Yeah. So, yes.
I'm very proud of you, even though you put yourself in harm's way. Just please be careful out there. This is a dangerous world. Far more dangerous than anyone in that vault knows. Right. The flooding shorted out some of the fuse boxes downstairs, including one that controls some of the automatic doors. Here, take these fuses. The box is back down in the sub-basement near the eastern end of the level. Once the fuses are replaced, you'll be able to get to the mainframe. Be careful, sweetie.
Yeah, it seems really unnecessary to make you run back here. And sure, if I had never been there before and I was fighting super mutants, then that might have been a more difficult journey, but not by really that much. It doesn't seem like this is just going to magically get cleaner in stages. I doubt there's a like 10% repaired area or 20% repaired or anything like that. I imagine it is much more of a case that if that area is going to get repaired at all, then it will be repaired instantaneously as soon as we load in an area. It's not even like there was a bed where the father is. So it's just going to point us in that right direction. Good. So it's not really a scenario. I hear a little skittering, almost like there's a rad roach somewhere.
With the fuses in place, you should be able to access the mainframe. No need to come back to the control room. Just head straight there.
Yeah. I guess maybe if he'd given you like a full heal or some stim packs or something, it then would have made a little bit more sense. But really just seems like they didn't think it through, or that they just felt a need to have more walk away and then come back conversations with the father, so you can just actively remember that he's a character in the story at all. Like, the main story is super weak in this game. Alright, we're seeing mainframe, and we would love more electrical gun bullets. None of these consoles seem to really activate, so it's gonna have to just be this one. And since they've just consistently had these power switches be the switches, that looks very out of place. Like, again, there's no reason for these switches to exist. They only exist in a few places. It would have made a lot more sense for everything to be a computer terminal.
Until we can access the mainframe. Use the intercom so I can tell you where to go next.
Okay.
There are a few minor repairs still to be made up here in the control room. Why don't you come back here and give me a hand? Actually, wait. There's one other thing I need you to do. Janice says there's a blockage in one of the intake pipes. It's on your way back. Head back up to the museum level and give me a call on the intercom when you get there.
Where am I now seems to be oddly
Good luck, honey.
unnecessary in the game. And if that was going to be the case, why even use the intercom? Why not just use the Pip-Boy? I guess they're canonically just trying to establish that Pip-Boys don't have any interpersonal communication. It probably would have made more sense, though, just to have him broadcast a signal, even if you said it was an encrypted signal, to your Pip-Boy as a radio station. Let's see.
Hello.
Are we going here? Nope. Are we going... We should check the local map first. Yeah, we're going to the pump control. A lot of places here we visited. And one thing we'll definitely want to keep an eye out for is just how much of this game are we going to revisit now, since we played so obsessively and it's just junk in the pipe. Although, you know, light bulbs in the pipes also dangerous. Let's see. I can barely hear this. So the Enclave now have shown up, which we didn't even believe they really existed in any real numbers. We now have a dropper section for really no reason. Well, they've locked the doors, and my only option was to go this way and get far away. And there's a toilet here for no reason. Here we have an Enclave soldier. Anybody else want some? And this has put us back this way. Now I'm super overpowered, but this would be basically the only thing that could make the game a little bit challenging. Although in all fairness, every time I complain about the game not being challenging, I have to admit that it's not challenging because Tesla, interesting. It's not challenging because I'm playing the game on super easy. If I was playing the game on any other level of difficulty, like normal difficulty, probably is pretty challenging. So we have a plasma rifle that's new, and this Tesla armor giving you radiation resistance and energy weapons plus 10 definitely looks interesting, but we still can't use power armor. So if that guy is in there, then we kind of have to just assume that there's more there. There's no response from the intercom. So let's just kill all these guys now. We'll just take everything off of them. And hope we have enough inventory and clear out this whole area first. And just... like, the Enclave people are firing on me directly first. My gun is not, like, particularly good. Alright. So, this is another great point where, like, VATS is really the only way to go. Like, otherwise you're going to do such an amazing amount of damage to your weapons and your amount of bullets. See, I'm using a named SMG weapon, 10mm weapon. That's gonna be as good as it gets. And unless there was somebody somewhere else around here, I assume we just go into the rotunda. If not,
under United States government control. The person in charge is to step forward immediately and turn over all materials related
notice
to this
that we're
project.
behind the wall here. It's kind of pointless for this to be less clear. Notice my gun is also
Am I to
downward.
assume, sir, that you are in charge?
Yes, I'm responsible for this project.
Then I repeat, sir, that you are hereby instructed to immediately hand over all materials related to the purifier.
I'm sorry, but that's...
Furthermore,
We don't
you
have a
are to
name for this
assist
character.
Enclave scientists in assuming control of the administration and operation of this facility at once.
Colonel, is it Colonel? I'm sorry, but the facility is not operational. It never has been. I'm afraid you're wasting your time here.
Sir, this is the last time I am going to repeat
This
myself.
is standard
Stand
military
down at
thing.
once and turn
We're
over
gonna be
control
in
of this
control,
facility.
or we're gonna kill you.
I assure you that this facility will not function. We have never been able to successfully replicate test results.
I suggest you comply immediately, sir,
And
in order to prevent
That
any
was
more incidents.
very,
Are we clear?
very
Yes.
poorly animated.
Do whatever you want. There's no need for more violence.
Then you will immediately hand over
He didn't
all
even know if she
materials
was an
related to this
important
project
doctor.
and aid us in making it operational at once.
Very well. Give me a few moments to bring the system online.
Like, it would have been very easy to just have this guy and this guy walk in here and then have a whole bunch of people
Enough of
guarding
these
it.
delays.
Just another minute and I'm ready. Done. Run. Run.
Interesting.
What is he doing in there?
So, he just like radiated everybody, and his hair for some reason animated a little bit wider. Now we got enough here where we could potentially hit some stems. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be going though. Like, what is our quest? Quest is to go back to the rotunda, which, so there's more to that cutscene.
James.
Right.
He's gone. We have to get out of here. They'll be coming for us next. We've got to evacuate now.
Let's see. So your father just killed himself, which is fine because we didn't need him hanging around.
James, your father caused an overload. He sacrificed himself to keep the Enclave from getting the purifier. And to
He
buy
might
us
as well have
time
just
to
worked
escape.
with him because
There'll be more
Project
of them coming.
Purity,
We need
like,
to get out of here before
there's
they find
no
us,
way
or else your father died in vain.
it was going to activate without clearing all the water. So maybe in the long run it gives more authority to the Enclave, but you got to give authority to somebody. It's either going to be the Enclave or the Brotherhood of Steel, or going to be the new government of this world for the theoretical future. So better to just not have people die of radiation in the same time. Like, I hate to make an argument that maybe scientists had to collaborate with the Nazis in a lot of ways in Germany, but in a lot of ways they kind of did. And in fairness, a lot of the German Nazi scientists that were evacuated / kidnapped from Germany, however it went down, also then were forced to collaborate with the United States in World War II. Talking real world history here. At the end of the day, though, Project Purity is far better a project than, say, creating the atomic bomb in the first place. And that is, I think, the direct allegory here is that your father just made the other choice. Instead of working with the Enclave to help them create an atomic bomb, he helped them. He chose to kill himself and the Colonel and all these other people, which I assume I can't go in there and get their suits. Maybe ever, but maybe it'll be a long time. I could go back in there and get their suits.
There's nothing anyone can do for him now. The radiation levels in there are lethal. You'd die the same way he did. We need to get out of here now.
Okay.
We used an old abandoned tunnel as an escape route once before, many years ago. Everyone should know how to find it.
Again, her
We need to
face
get there right now. Let's go.
looks very much... Yeah, they're just dead there. And it's one radiation outside. It's probably a lot more radiation inside. Yeah, I don't know what's with her face model. It looks very weird. And so now we can go into the Taft tunnels.
We need to escape while we can.
Good to see you.
What is
Okay.
going on up there?
Don't
so-
wander off. We're going to need you.
Where to?
This tunnel leads to the Citadel, the Brotherhood of Steel's fortress. We should be safe there, if we can make it.
Let's see.
I don't know what's ahead. That's the problem. No one has used these
So
tunnels
she've
in
just
years, but we can't
replaced
stay put. The
our
Enclave will
father,
find us eventually.
effectively.
We have to get moving. We need to keep everyone together, and we need to get through this tunnel as quickly as possible. We're not safe until we reach the other side. You should stay close, and we'll follow behind you.
Okay.
We'll be right behind you. Be careful.
Alright. Should be easy enough. As soon as we see something, we'll just shoot it. As is standard. This is the first time shooting an Enclave Eyebot actually makes some real logical sense. You can't climb up that way. I don't think we're radiation-wise going that way. Ooh, the radiation is actually very strong in that direction too. It would be surprising if there was something here of major importance, even like a book. I suspect we won't run into any of that. These guys are just slowly walking, following. Definitely are seeing radiation goo that we can't step in, so that's all of a sudden going to be part of the gameplay. as a mechanic in this area and pretty much only this area.
And now, one of my inspirational.
So it's fairly clear that the iBots are spy bots. And
There's a locked door up ahead. I can open it, but it'll take some time.
really? So she'll just unlock the door for me, I guess, and then I would lose experience. Technologies, purification, broadcasting. None of those helped us. Purification, resurrection. 60 XP for that. You definitely don't want to lose that XP if you can get it. Alright. Let me check and see if we can lockpick the door. Yeah. Meanwhile, this isn't gonna work. Let's... Well, sure. Probably not going to get a better group of targets to shoot with this. Like, I definitely came load the bear, as it were. As far as the right weapons to have. Like, seriously, how would you possibly take out all these people? And we're leveled up. Okay. Melee to 90. Sneak to 90. Unarmed to 90. And barter to 55. Next level up, basically everything goes to barter. Do we have new things? Warmonger. You figured out how to build all the custom weapons. With Warmonger perk, all custom weapon types become available to you without the schematics. You do not suffer any effects of this. Well, it would either be Warmonger or Paralyzing Punch. I think Warmonger is a great one to take. The railway rifle level 3, rocket launcher level 3. And see, this again is all DLC stuff. So it would have made a lot of sense. There's a Chinese group of people here. Yeah, I think it would have made a ton of sense. I feel like there's another Enclave soldier here, but maybe those are just its legs of people that have been blown off. And I know we're over encumbered, but it's also kind of pointless to deal with this until we've gotten everything. So this is just a monster closet where they spawned in some Enclave soldiers. Okay. Weapons now. As far as plasma rifles, we can start by repairing one. Then we can repair another. Let's see. Laser rifles. What you may be very quickly finding out is that the Enclave may not be as in good of a position as they pretend like. So Tesla armor. Fully repair that one. Partially repair that one. Tesla helmet. And since we have the storyline element that is taking us, let's see, Enclave power helmet and Enclave Hellfire armor. It's going to be a question as far as which of these armors are actually. Chinese commando hat might actually be a unique item. So Hellfire armor is fire resistance plus 30, strength plus 1, radiation resistance 15. And that's a damage resistance of 50, and it's a value of 999. And the helmet is a damage resistance of 10. Whereas Enclave seems to be more of a radiation resistance and probably only gets up to 40, maybe 50. And then Tesla armor at its max, though, is a damage resistance of 43. And at a certain point, whichever armor we choose to wear is probably going to have more to do with weight than actual damage resistance. And so Hellfire armor weighs 40, whereas the Tesla armor weighs 45. And an energy weapon plus 10 doesn't matter at all. There's another sneak increased. It does almost feel like we are getting more sneak books because all of our other stats are at the max. So what we got as far as improved schematics is rocket launcher version 3, which probably means we could have found that somewhere. Railway rifle version 3 and Deathclaw gauntlet version 3. I still very possibly will never craft any of those. It didn't unlock a whole bunch of new things, although you are kind of in a nice position to potentially do that. Just yeah, I could see playing the game and not bothering to get any of the specific Oh, we missed something in this tunnel. I went the wrong way. Whatever. So, I doubt there was much there. I imagine the ghouls would attack. Nothing in this foot locker. So, like, yeah. what you almost needed would have been the schematics to reduce what was needed to create these items, or for these items to no longer have a carry weight, so you could just... Interesting. Oops. Let's see, now we're listening to Three Dog. And there's biker goggles and some jet. Somebody was just sitting here. That's just another example of probably a bad place to put a radio. No bombs there. No booby traps. So we fought some ghouls, we fought some Enclave.
We can't go any further. We need to stop.
Why would we stop now?
Garza has a heart condition. He needs medicine or he may not make it. I'm not moving until he gets the medicine he needs.
So video game.
I don't have sufficient medical supplies with me, or else this wouldn't be a problem. If you have any stim packs, I would ask that you hand them over.
Sure. With speech 100%, I could... I could get some XP here, but I think that's XP at bad karma. So let's just give him the stim
This
packs.
looks to be enough. He'll need medical attention once we've reached the Citadel, but this will get him there.
I have so many,
Moment and we can continue.
like 5 stim packs. Ha! Gain karma. Like, laughable. How many stim packs? Let's just look. Do we have 319? I could literally give a stim pack to every single human in the place. There's a whole bunch of dead bodies here. Feels like people either radiated or yeah, Garza was not even a scientist character, so I guess maybe they were implying that you might not care about him just because he was not a scientist. Seems kind of silly, though. Like, I don't care about any of the characters because they're computer AI NPCs, but beyond that, I'm not... I imagine they're either going to die and that'll be that, or they're not gonna die. Hopefully these guys are just shooting at me. You should take a stim pack myself. Or 2. I'm definitely wondering if maybe these guys are just never going to be reachable. Which would suck. You're getting the XP from it, certainly, but... You're not going to get the armor. That being said, you also are pretty well guaranteed that you will run into this iBot helmet. That seems like a unique item. I think we have one of them already, though. So, glowing one just managed to kill in a scripted event. Alright, we're gonna have to reevaluate our weapons and the armor again. see, what can we repair? Tesla armor. Tesla helmet. Plasma rifle. I think we really are just teetering on the edge of being over encumbered. Here's the Enclave soldier that had died previously. Metal helmet. Weight 3. I think we have a metal helmet. That might be one of the few places where a metal helmet is actually depicted in the game. Instead of just being junk inside of drawers. Oh, sounds like these guys do seem like they have actual health to them.
I'm out of here.
So we may have lost him or aggroed him because he was like red. Do I care? It almost feels like this was designed so that they wouldn't succeed and you would be the sole survivor. So you could just like get rid of these characters. It certainly would make some level of sense. Just a toolbox back behind some barrels. We have a lock thing here for 50 XP. Let's see what's back behind this direction. Barrel, beer bottles. Well, I think I may have just killed everybody. Yeah. Let's try that again. Okay. Door to the Taft Tunnels is where we started.
We can't go any further. We need to stop. I don't. Yes.
We'll still go with that. We'll take this scrap metal. Let's see. It didn't even really look like we're hitting him. Did I just aggro somebody again?
I'm out of here.
Yeah. Alright, so if we're going to do this properly, we're going to have to tell these people to wait behind. Let's go this far. And have we left
Can't go any
anybody
further. We need to stop.
else behind?
Garza, I don't. Yeah.
Right. See, the beer looks like a Nuka-Cola in the darkness. Like, I could easily have mistaken that for a Nuka-Cola.
All right, if you're up to it, we'll continue.
Let's see.
What is it? Are you sure? I don't want to stay in one place for too long.
So you wait there. Let me just go and clear out this whole area, and I'll just come back and get them later. Because these guys are clearly running right in front of he's standing directly into in this. Alright. And what are we looking for? We'll take this. We'll leave that. Seem very scripted. Very, very scripted. We had looked over here and we found nothing. Here's the Enclave soldier. Making us over encumbered again. Over here. Was what? Nothing of importance. I like this, but again, you don't even see it. Like, the game, almost every first-person shooter needs an angle that is a little bit like this. Whereas the natural angle on this is this way. Even if you're doing some weird fisheye in a vertical orientation, just to have you look at the ceiling, whether it's an impressive empty ceiling or not. Because, yeah, a lot of people are working on this. Vengeance weighs 18. By the time we're done with the sequence, I think I'll probably be done with Vengeance and we'll be back to just firing with a laser pistol if we can find one that does even a reasonable amount of damage. Yeah. Here's an exit sign. Don't see a lot of that. Inevitably, what's going on here is I can't imagine anybody would have been able to successfully navigate this whole area with the people wandering around behind you. Baseball bat and glove and baseball. We look through there. Then just a whole bunch of other bodies. This door. And this switch. Oops. We've got to do this all over again. That was a Brotherhood of Steel person that I confused.
What is it? Are you sure?
So if we tell him to wait now, then you can see these guys don't really shoot at you. Like, not at any kind of consistent rate that's really a problem. Yeah, we're dangerously getting to the point of almost a speed run.
We can't go any further. We need to stop. Garza has I don't have sufficient Yes, this looks to be enough. He'll need Thank you.
Like, these guys decided to trigger that. And then I think they're all running back the opposite direction. Back to the beginning where I told them to wait. Interesting. So that highlights that event will happen no matter what. Just mostly trying to find the zombies and the ghouls and make sure I kill all of them. Of course, using this gun on ghouls is definitely a waste of resources. Bobby pins. Oh. Well, the fact that we found bobby pins on that guy does open up an interesting question. Got it. Should I have been searching all the bodies? I don't really know how you would reach this ammunition box. I guess you do it that way. And I managed to really do a number on that guy. Clearly somebody who was having fun stacking cups. Okay. So there is a bit of a question as to what else is here. And it's nothing. It's just a safe. Let's try that again. Safe with nothing in it once again. Like, they clearly had no confidence in the idea of a safe existing, and I don't know what the whole decoration here is supposed to represent at all. It seems like they literally just made a death trap for you in this collection of rooms. If anything, it's a callback to the very beginning of the game where you were shooting rad roaches with a BB gun and there was beer bottles up here before they got destroyed, and then the birthday party with the birthday streamers. Like, some small callback to that, I suppose. Alright. But totally unnecessary. So I'm wondering if I just walk here now. There's a whole bunch of people that have been gunned down. If they will, this guy will talk to me. Because we're already fans and friends of the Brotherhood of Steel.
This ain't a tourist trap. You civilians get topside immediately.
So. Where's the guy? Wow. So we cleared out that area, and then it just did spawn more ghouls. Where did those guys spawn from, though? Seems like kind of nowhere. So I left them behind in relative safety. And so unless we found them dead, like this guy just straight up exploded. I don't even know what happened there, why he would have exploded. This definitely feels like another example in which you are just doomed to always have a slightly off experience, that there really is just not going to be any consistency or just scripted events. We've got a lot here. I don't know how much of this we can really repair. Well, we can drop dirty water. We can drop human flesh and iguana bits. Milo cakes. Salisbury steak. And whiskey. Of course, that's still 57 away. So we drop a plasma rifle, which uses MF cells, or we drop a laser rifle, which uses MF cells. I think laser rifle is worse, so we'll drop that. Laser pistol, EC pack, E cells are different. Flamer, do we need a flamer really? I think we've got one. We can drop that. And then Hellfire Enclave versus Hellfire Power Armor. Enclave Power Armor versus Tesla Armor. I think we drop a Tesla Armor, and then we're unencumbered. At least until we find another Brotherhood of Steel person. Let's see. Okay. Save, new save. Can we just open this and will they be with me? Yes. We've discovered the Citadel. Where? Is this the Citadel? Yes. And we'll see what she has to say.
I am Dr. Madison Lee. I have people with me in need of shelter. You must allow us access at once.
I'm sorry, ma'am. No unauthorized civilians allowed inside the Citadel. You'll have to leave now.
Lions! I know you're in there. I know you can hear me. You open this goddamn door right now.
Well, apparently she knows lions. Yeah, again, this should be like a cutscene. I don't even remember this. I know I beat Fallout 3, but this, seeing this city and the Citadel, like, where are we as far as the world map? Like, we are here. So, I fairly obviously could have just swam or walked here. It doesn't seem like there's anything stopping me at all. We just got 700 XP, which will be a major bump in us moving forward. Like, I thought the Citadel was like a flying ship. Yeah, let's just follow them. Here you have this old guy that definitely looks like a character from Fallout 1 or 2.
Don't talk down to me, Lions. I had nowhere else to turn. You must help us. Project Purity has been overrun.
Yes, I've heard reports of an incident there. What details can you give us?
The Enclave.
He looks more like a mage from Skyrim.
There may be more. I don't know. You have to do something.
Then it's as we feared. Medicine, I'm sorry this happened. I wish we could have done something.
Then do something now. They've taken over the purifier. Lions, they cannot be permitted to have control over it. It's not right.
No. Calm down. You know as well as I do that the purifier doesn't work. It's useless to them. Perhaps it's time to walk away.
Like, they need to be closer to each other and have a full cutscene here.
What's been missing. We know how to get it running.
Is that so? Does the Enclave know this?
No, I don't think. I don't know. I just
See, this would be funny if he shot her.
All right, Madison. It'll be okay. Now, this is James's daughter, I presume. I can see the result.
He's not even looking in our direction.
Yes. She knows what we need. Vault-Tec computer, something to locate equipment. Please help her.
Very well. We'll sort this all out. Hail.
I need to rest, lie down or something. This is just too much. Rothschild should help you, but don't forget that he's Brotherhood. I've never trusted them. Be careful what you tell them.
And so then you just get handed over to
You honor us with your presence here.
you just get handed over to Elder Lyons / Rothschild, which I think is the same person. Here we have several named characters and a city here. We don't really know what the Brotherhood of Steel is all about any more than we know what the Enclave is about. All we really do know is that these are people who didn't shoot at us, whereas the Enclave did shoot at people and kill people and very evilly kill somebody. What they're really failing to say here, and it would have made the story make so much more sense and be such a better written story. And yes, this is like a 10-year-old game, so it's kind of ridiculous to say, well, my idea is better than somebody else's. But storyline wise, it would have made so much more sense if Project Purity would allow you to make pure water, and by making pure water that isn't irradiated, then they could make heavy water, which is kind of irradiated, but maybe not in the same way. And by making heavy water, the Enclave could make more nukes, more big 1 megaton, 10 megaton style nukes to blow up entire places.
The Brotherhood is at your service.
Like, if the threat in this game
You have my condolences. Your
was that the Enclave was trying to get nukes again, and that we were that at by no means can we let the Enclave get nukes, because they would just nuke the remaining people that oppose them, including the Brotherhood, and they would create a second dropping of the bombs. Then you have a theme, certainly. You've connected the idea of Project Purity being something that right now has been written only as a good thing into possibly being a bad thing. And that's why the right people need to be in charge of it. As it is written, the only thing you could assume is that Project Purity would somehow be perverted so that only the Enclave would have pure water, and then they would demand loyalty or sell it to people. And so we have this whole outcast things. We have a lot here going on. Let's see. As far as dialogues. And somehow we've talked to this guy who we've never even met before.
Talk to Scribe Jameson. She is our keeper of the scrolls. She will want to know what you have found. Glad to be of help.
Let's see.
The outcasts are a result of my greatest mistake, but a mistake I'm proud of nonetheless. When I came here, I realized for the first time that the Brotherhood's technology could truly save
They're basically
the survivors
technology
of this
hoarders.
wasteland. I chose to help them, even if it meant putting the Brotherhood's interests at risk. Some of my soldiers called me a hero. Others called me a traitor.
He's one of the few old characters.
Command, calling themselves outcasts to mock me. I cannot fault their dedication, even if I find them lacking in compassion.
But like the fact that they even bothered to make old face models is very much undercut in the fact that we never find any slavers or raiders or wastelanders that have old face models throughout the game. Let's see.
Only in a very broad sense. The Brotherhood's oaths are to protect humanity's progress, but not necessarily every human. The outcasts and members of the Brotherhood in other places consider it a waste to protect most people. After all, they say, everyone knows how to make another human, but the secrets to making a P-94 plasma rifle are all but lost. Even now, a year after they left, the wounds of their departure are still sore.
And we're just gonna have to go through all this
Some of my
dialogues.
soldiers are angry about it. They see it as an insult to me. Bless them for their loyalty. They're more angry about it than I ever was.
A lot of the
Others
Citadel
understand
looks a
their
lot
decision.
like
Sometimes
the
I hear them
Mage
wondering
Tower
if
in
they should
Skyrim.
have gone with them. I can't blame them, but I stand by my decision, and I respect theirs.
So it seems like it's a fairly uneasy truce between the outcasts and the Brotherhood, at least from his perspective.
Has it been worth the cost in lives and resources to protect people like you from the super mutants? You tell me. I suspect my daughter's squad helped save your life. And most of our recent recruits have come from those we've saved over the years. It's cost us, but we've saved many lives. And made the capital wasteland a place where people can live. Yes, I'd say that's been worth it.
There is, I suppose, a thought that perhaps a major section of the United States is
Yes,
just overrun with
let's
super
speak of
mutants.
other things.
Of course, those major sections will get smaller and smaller as they try to find new locations for new Fallout games. Although between the Capital Wasteland, the New Vegas, Las Vegas area, and the East Coast areas, I'm not sure there's a lot of desire to go anywhere else. I think Mexico, Texas might be interesting. Canada might be interesting in general. Although you'd make like one game that covers just all of Canada that would be habitable. But as far as inside the United States, after trying those new locations, it would make a lot of sense just to reuse map data and set it in a different time frame and not have to create new land masses, particularly when you're talking, like, if you set a game like this in Arkansas, are there that many interesting locations that you can travel to and see in Arkansas? It would make a lot more sense to leave and set it in, like, Tokyo or Hong Kong, Singapore, London, like any place, Paris, France, for instance, any place that has really recognizable architecture, even if you are just going to destroy it, and recognizable land masses. Now let's ask about the Enclave.
More than anyone else, I dare say. Certainly enough to know they're the greatest threat the capital wasteland has ever faced. The Brotherhood of Steel has encountered the Enclave before, you see. Over 30 years ago, back in California.
And this was in
then they were led by a President Richardson. Now we've got this Eden to contend with.
This is a reference to the previous Fallout games.
Control and destroy, all in the guise of restoring order. Your father, I fear, was just the beginning.
Although, in fairness, the Enclave didn't kill your father. Your father killed himself killing the Enclave, but he clearly saw them as a major threat.
The Brotherhood is an old organization going back to the years just after the war. We are but a part of it. What would you like to know?
A lot of this is like backstory to previous games, so it would have made a lot of sense to be able to talk to this guy way earlier.
The Brotherhood began on the West Coast. It exists there still. We were dispatched to this location many years ago. In truth, the Brotherhood of Steel has been struggling for years, both here and back home. Honor, truth, courage. These virtues seem to have little meaning in these troubled times.
And see, I guess this guy probably has to be pretty old, because this guy very possibly existed in a previous Fallout game, which would have been 10, 20 years ago. Because each Fallout game does seem to have several years differences between them.
Ah, no. That's the real question, isn't it?
This is another case where voiced lines of dialogue would make sense.
To acquire any and all advanced technology, and we have, to the best of our abilities. But when I realized the extent of the super mutant threat, I felt it was my responsibility to aid the people in their struggle against them.
It sure feels like the Enclave and the super mutants have to be connected.
Disagree with my assessment of the situation. I feel I've grown too attached to the local populace.
I wouldn't be surprised if the West
In any event, the Enclave
Brotherhood of Steel came in and took over, and there might even be like a fight between the West Coast and the East Coast Brotherhood of Steel.
It's been over 20 years since we arrived, and we've been struggling to contain and eradicate the super mutants for nearly as long. With the arrival of the Enclave, I have a terrible feeling the super mutants are the least of our worries.
I think super mutants existed in the previous Fallout games, but, you know, also I didn't really play the previous Fallout games, so like, they're just too old. Let's see.
What more did you want to know? So be it.
So that should be marked done.
Would you believe no? It's pathetic, really, considering we've been fighting those abominations for nearly 20 years. In all that time, all we've managed to do is to contain the threat, hold them back so they don't overrun every blasted settlement out here. But we don't really know anything. Where they're from, why they've infested the DC ruins. And now here we are, holed up in our citadel. Low on resources, low on troops. It's enough to make an old man so very tired.
Yeah, you'd almost assume that the super mutants would be the next big threat. More than even the Citadel and the Enclave.
Why, yes. Yes, indeed, there is someone. Our intrepid paladin Gunny trains all initiates in the use of power armor. When they're ready, under the circumstances, I will allow Gunny to train you as well. You'll find him in the Bailey. I will send word that I've given my approval.
So now we can get power armor training, so we can actually use power armor, although I don't know if I even want to wear power armor. It's not like I'm taking a ton of damage, but I have been noticing I have been taking a little bit more damage than I'm really comfortable with.
Ah, yes.
Of course, if I was playing this on hard mode, I probably would have wanted to run to this point.
Built by a very proud nation during a very desperate time.
We haven't seen this robot yet.
Getting him working as they did. You should speak with Scribe Rothschild. He can tell you more.
Alright, so Scribe Rothschild is a different character. Alright.
If you have a moment, Scribe Rothschild.
Here is Liberty Prime. Okay. Didn't even see it. Again, just screw it. Just completely.
What's this I hear about power consumption actually increasing?
So the lab terminal. Let's see. I guess pause now if you want to read any of these. This is an area that has already given you a lot of storyline. Where you just don't need extra storyline in this. So being able to see a computer here seems weird. Like, pause now if you want to read this stuff. Like, clearly this is important stuff. At some point, and it would be far too much of a tease, certainly, to introduce Liberty Prime as a robot, as a giant robot, and not see him move around. Although I frankly wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly would have happened. I will just say that we do get to see him walk around in the mainline story section. Honestly, there were some places and locations that I thought he was going to destroy walls to let me reach. But I don't think there's too many of those, really, considering we've been everywhere on the map. It is probably one of the most memorable sequences we will see once we do get voice emitter test initialized. We won't initiate. Yeah.
But this old man's patience is wearing thin. I want a full status report in 3 hours.
So he was supposed to march all the way from Washington, D.C. across the country to Anchorage, Alaska. Let's see. I assume this terminal is the same.
The Brotherhood is at your service.
Let's see. We have a cell door. And we have a guy.
Quartermaster Durga here, stranger. I have to say, I'm not sure what you're doing in my armory. We run a tight ship, and unless Elder Lion says so, we don't trade with outsiders. Quartermaster out.
Okay, so she won't trade with me.
The elders sent word of your arrival. I am Scribe Peabody. Welcome, etc. Now, I'm really very busy. Is there something you needed?
Let's see.
Ha! With my eyes closed.
Okay, well, repair that. What is this repair skill? Seemingly probably not that good.
In the elder's name.
So he can repair things. Like, getting more information about guns is a lot of backstory that really feels like all of this shouldn't just be in the Citadel, that you should be finding these as notes throughout the entire game as little value add for going through dungeons. And I can only assume that the reason why some of these are here, some of these notes are here instead of notes somewhere else, is that they knew the Citadel was going to exist in the game and there was a lot less question. Apparently I could just take this plasma rifle. I'm on such good terms. Alright. Rothschild.
May I start by saying that I am sorry for your loss. I was acquainted
Another
with your
fairly
father
old
many
looking
years
guy.
ago. The world has lost one of its few remaining visionaries.
They definitely painted themselves in the in the corner with the timeline here.
Think nothing of it. Now, Dr. Lee has explained your predicament. You need to locate some vault tech equipment?
Yes. Something called the Gek. Do you have one?
A Gek? Goodness no, certainly not. I must say that there are some who doubt such a device really exists, let alone...
We know it exists because we saw it in Fallout 1 and Fallout 2.
If, however, you share your father's determination, I may be able to assist you in locating one. Possibly. I'm afraid I won't be able to assist you directly. The news Dr. Lee has brought will require me to be elsewhere. I can, however, give you access to an old pre-war computer from Vault-Tec. It may have the information you need.
You'll find the terminal in the archives in the A-Ring.
You are welcome.
So you can be nice or you can be a jerk, and it seems like that would have been easier.
I'm afraid I have other duties to attend to right now. If you find the computer to be helpful...
Okay. Let's see.
Could I? Yes. Don't hurry back.
Yeah, it seems kind of pointless to be kind of a jerk to people. Garza.
Hey there. And I have work to do.
And we just kind of have nothing new to say.
Listen, thanks for getting us through that. I'm not stupid. I know we wouldn't have made it without you. I'm sorry about your dad, and I'm sorry I've acted like an ass. Great. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Yeah,
So,
sure.
seems like by keeping these people alive, they might turn to being somewhat useful.
Hey, buddy. Hi. Yeah, so listen, thanks and all.
Actually, perhaps I can fashion one out.
Doesn't seem like they really are doing anything for you, though.
Sir, I have to jot something down before I forget.
And it does kind of feel like they're just gonna shove them all in this bathroom.
Well, what's your tactical appraisal?
Star Paladin Cross.
By the traction of hospitality and on the word of Elder Lions, I welcome you to the Citadel.
You can see her.
I am Star
She looks
Paladin
old
Haas,
and
keeper of the arm,
her
and
neck
seneschal to
seems
Elder
fairly
Lyons.
thin
And
compared to
I'm
the
honored to
power
say I
armor.
was acquainted with your father. Now, what may I do to help you? I did, and you as well. Long ago, I helped guard the water purifier against the super mutant horde. When your father left, I escorted the two of you to
The
Megaton.
power armor is supposed to be giant,
A
but
nobleman.
it's
I
not
was
big
saddened to hear of
enough.
his passing. But from what
Frankly.
I've heard, he died with honor. He died for you. I only pray that my own death has such meaning. And so our deeds are carried on.
See, we
through our
ain't have
sons
these
and our
choices.
daughters. Continue to remember him fondly. Continue to tell his story. And continue to do his work. Through you, he shall carry on. But now I must ask you a difficult question, if I have your leave to do so.
Sure. Karma, by all means, ask. Interesting, this is the first time we've ever been told we'd get karma.
I escorted your father across the wastes. It was the best I could contribute to his efforts to restore fresh water to the people. I would like the honor of escorting you in your journey to complete his work.
Let's see. What about the Enclave? I'd be honored, Star Paladin.
As a Star Paladin, I answer only to Elder Lyons. He has given me leave to pursue the restoration of Project Purity, as I see fit. By aiding you in your travels, I shall fulfill that mission as best I am capable.
Sure.
Then I shall follow your leave and submit to your command. As James's child, I know I don't need to explain, but I am not your servant. If I do not like the path your actions take, I will return here. Now, let us go forward. Crush the Enclave and fulfill your father's mission.
So now this character may be able to
There is a foul stench on the wind. Let us not tarry
hold
for long.
items for us.
In the words of Elder Theus, a brother well equipped is a brother keeping to his duty.
So, how much can we give her? And can we get it back? Is the question.
In the
Alright,
words
so
of
she'll
Elder
just
Theus,
hold on to
a
anything we
brother
give her
well equipped
and equip
is a
it.
brother keeping to his duty.
So I can basically give her anything I want. And seemingly she can just hold on to it. Oh, nope, she can't carry anymore. But that certainly helped free up some space there.
Lead the way.
And now she's wearing better armor. She has this giant super sledgehammer. And as long as I keep my karma fairly high and don't do something really evil, I think I'm fine with her as a companion. And that's what we've needed for a very long time here. And a lot of these characters are clearly not named, so they don't matter. The only thing is she might get slightly annoying, but I don't think she'll get that annoying. There's Rothschild. We can run around and look at this robot. Yep. What they needed to do is get it at least like 20% bigger. Her head should be right about here and bigger than a human head with a helmet. And it should just be like way percentage-wise scaled up. Here we have a mess hall, which I guess we'll just go check. And I think we can pretty much just take anything we want here. Almost certainly there is a bobblehead in this place. There almost certainly has to be. It'd just be kind of a matter of where. Where would that bobblehead be hiding? Take the bobby pin. That's pretty much all we need to take. There's a whole bunch of computers, and the Brotherhood of Steel clearly is all about preserving technology, so I'd imagine they're constantly trying to get broken parts and see if they can get components to fix things. But even the broken computer terminals do look like they are technology that is several decades older than these computer terminals. Although it could be the exact opposite. It could be that these computer terminals are actually older. In the real world, technology gets smaller, not bigger. Take a Nuka-Cola. And that's pretty much all we care about. Take some sugar bombs. I don't even know why we're taking sugar bombs at this point. It seems pointless. Like a pointless quest as much as every other pointless quest exists in the game. Lab terminals, I assume we're all the same.
Welcome.
So there's an armory on one side and there's a mess hall on the other side. And then up here, just making sure, we probably should just pay attention to the local map a little bit too. We have a smithy here, which, let's talk to this character.
Oh yes, hello, I've heard about you. We don't get many strangers here in the Citadel, especially those who walk about unescorted. I am Scribe Bowditch. If you require something, simply ask.
Let's see.
I suppose that
You can repair equipment, but at the same repair skill.
Paladin Gunny can train you.
Paladin Gunny, I imagine.
Talk to Scribe Jameson. She's our
And
keeper
Scribe
of the scrolls.
Jameson.
She'll want to know what you've found. She spends most of her time in the archives. You'll find them in...
So we're supposed to go to the A-Ring anyways. So we're going to find that character. Is there real value in taking power armor? I think there is a value in taking power armor. All the books and stuff are around the Arlington Library, though. These guys are just wandering around. I wish there was a more consistent understanding still of where could I find the electric weapon ammo and where can I find bobby pins. Because I don't think I can find them in filing cabinets. This goes to the courtyard. This goes to the Citadel A-Ring.
Very well. Thank you for the update.
Which is, I guess, the archives ring. And we'll almost certainly have to leave via the courtyard, so it would make... There's a whole bunch of people just making... a lot of dialogue. A lot of just chatter. Got bumps there. And this goes to the Great Hall. So before we go to the Great Hall, let's see.
You just managed to get yourself into all sorts of trouble, don't you?
So this is a
Welcome
character
to
I
the
guess we
Citadel.
ran
Not
into a
many
long time
civilians get to
ago.
see the place. It's the best of the Brotherhood, bar none. No one gets in without my say-so.
She runs Lion's
In my
Pride.
father's name, I bid you farewell.
Okay. We were forced storyline-wise to meet her and fight with her. That goes to the courtyard, so we'll get back to the courtyard at some point. And then archives, scribe,
You honor us with your presence.
Maxon archives. Pause now if you want to read it. Again, I don't see a real reason why all of this would be just on a terminal here. Like, this feels like you could have had a whole secondary quest. I guess maybe what you're finding here is that Maxon may have been the people in charge of the Brotherhood of Steel in the West, or in charge of the Brotherhood of the Steel before Lions came into power. There's just a ton of stuff here to read. And there are books in this game, so arguably, if you were going to have all the reading be on terminals, you really shouldn't have given books as a potential readable item. I guess they aren't actually in this game, come to think of it, because comic books, you activate them, but you don't actually see the insides of them, although it would have been kind of nice if it did open up and show you the inside of the comic books and have an animator writer write like one issue of the comic books, and every time you read it, you got another page until you had like read the whole thing. This is a Vault-Tec terminal, so is this what we needed? So this is actual gameplay here, and it's telling you about the vaults. Vault 76 is one of the 17 control vaults. It will operate exactly according to plan dictated in the marking material produced in the Vault-Tec. Project goals, access restricted. Vault 87. We now know Vault 87 has a GEC, although it's not even said until the second screen here. And these access restricted things. Vault 92 was the musical instruments place. And it's just going to be access restricted on the vaults. Vaults 101. Just a lot of errors. 106 was, let's see. I'm not sure if we've been to Vault Vault 106. Was this the one that with all the hallucination gas? Or was 106 the one with the simulations? Hmm. 108. Yeah, they're not telling you what any of these vaults are, but you kind of know all of them have like nefarious goals to them. I think 112 was the one with the simulations. Just a whole bunch of stuff here to click on. Like, and almost certainly that should have been a conversation.
Hail, outsider. I am Scribe Jameson.
Instead of
word of your ordeal has spread.
that just being a terminal.
The loss of your father. But if I can help you in any way, please let me know.
Let's see. Have some questions about the Brotherhood. And see, this is a problem with a lot of RPGs, is that they have to give you these default questions, but what they should probably do is just mark off these default questions and have just a default response by every character. And you could do that certainly by saying, here, take this note. That way it doesn't sound repeated. Also with notes, you could go back and read them. Yeah, I suppose this game is weirdly split between notes and books. And we should be getting a lot more notes that we can read at our own leisure or not read if we choose not to, versus having to stand in front of a terminal in a specific spot to read something.
You have? Oh my. This brings to light a sad affair for the Brotherhood. But perhaps it is something that you can assist us with. If you have the time, I have an offer for you.
Sure, I've got all the time in the world. I certainly have been playing this game like that.
Good. As I'm sure you've noticed, the Brotherhood operates all over the DC ruins, often detached from the main base here at the Citadel. We're short on communication equipment. So many of the groups in the field operate as independent cells, without standing orders. Sometimes, I'm afraid that their missions end in their deaths. As Keeper of the Scrolls, it's my charge to write of each fallen brother's deeds.
Let's see. Yawn. You can't track them.
Exactly. A brother fallen in the field may have no one to carry word of his death back to me. In calmer times, we could send detachments and messengers to learn their fates. But with our manpower stretched thin...
Now the question is she going to send us to actually look for specific people? Or is she just going to...
like the one you found. Should you find any of the fallen brethren in the field, I ask that you return their tags to me, so that I might record their deeds in the scrolls.
Am I going to get any XP here? Okay. Okay.
Scrolls are kept by the head librarian of each Brotherhood bunker. The scrolls are a record of the Brotherhood itself. Into each scroll is written the name and deeds of each of our brothers.
I don't know why you'd use
Battles,
actual scrolls, though. Although, actually, actual scrolls might last better than technology.
The last entry for each brother is that brother's death. It is important, as the way a man dies is just as important as the manner in which he lives. And so, each man who nobly serves the Brotherhood ascends into our history, to be remembered by those who come after him.
It's kind of religious, basically.
They are on our fallen brothers throughout the DC ruins. However, I can't give you a full report on the locations of all of our operations. As I said, Many of the units in the field operate independently, sometimes not reporting into the Citadel for weeks or months.
So you're just gonna have to find them.
We have access to a great deal of technology, and because of that, there are a number of things that we can continue to produce. I will be able to offer you caps for the tags you bring me, but from time to time, I will be able to give you something a bit more interesting.
Cool. Alright, well, let's give them.
You have. If you have. Good. Should you...
I'm back into
As you...
this point.
I look forward to our next meeting.
So did they take all the holotags? We still need to ask Scribe Rothschild about that. No, we still have a whole bunch of them, so hopefully we can now talk to her again.
Knowledge is the beginning of wisdom, not the end of it.
We probably had to just back
One
out.
of my favorite quotes. Its author has been lost to us. How can I help you, outsider?
Let's see, I wanted to ask about the holotags.
It is my duty.
Let's see. I just don't want to have to go through all of this. So you have to ask about the holotags. I found some holotags.
It saddens me.
I have 3 holotags. Take all the holotags I have.
Their names shall be written into the scrolls to be remembered forever. As for you, here's your reward. Use it well and in good health.
1,300 and 325 things. XP.
I look forward to our next meeting.
Now, arguably, maybe I should have handed one over and then another and then another, then another. But I imagine she's not going to really do anything special. Like, having just turned over 13 on tags. Like, I probably would have gotten a laser rifle or something. Hopefully not a named item. Even if it was a named item that I've just been allowed to basically screw myself out of. I don't think I kind of care well enough to check with that. B-Ring, Citadel. And this is the Great Hall. Captain Gallows, Captain Dusk, Sentinel Lions. Yeah, I need to give up on picking up sugar bombs. It's totally a waste of time. Plus, there's so many of them around now. Let's see. This goes to the B-Ring also. It's not like we need caps. I'm getting bumped around by my companion character. There's a whole bunch of named people. I like the fact that some of these terminals just don't work, because that saves us all some wasted time. There you go. We'll pick up that holotag and turn it over. Although I don't think we're supposed to pick up holotags and turn them over just because we find one laying around. I guess if they're using holotag technology, that they are, for the most part, still using technology and not making any physical backups, which doesn't seem like the smartest move in this kind of world. Physical printouts would probably be smart. It's just a lot of nothing. There is a real question about how much of this. Interesting, they have a flag waving in front of the American flag that has the Brotherhood of Steel symbol instead of the old United States signal. Yeah, there is a real question as to just how much of the Brotherhood of Steel really was connected to the U.S. military, or whether they just managed to form a gang that... I think I'm supposed to talk to this character.
Yes? What?
Let's see.
Spec Ops.
So she's part of Lion's Pride.
Stay safe, stranger.
Enclave troops have fortified the Purifier complex.
Or he's part of Lion's Pride.
Able to transport personnel at a remarkable rate.
All right. Thanks for the information.
Just whole conversation
I came across
scripted
something
here.
interesting. The possession of knowledge does not kill the sense of wonder and mystery. There is always more mystery. Quite true, don't you think?
Again, a character it feels like you should... You should have to need to talk to.
Elder Lyons leads us. Star Paladin Cross is his seneschal. Sentinel Lyons, the Elder's daughter, commands the Lion's Pride, our elite combat squad. The Paladins lead the Knights. The Knights are the core of the Brotherhood. They scour the waste to eliminate evil and recover technology. Scribe Rothschild oversees the scribes in their duties to seek knowledge and restore the technology
A lot
the
of
Brotherhood has
people.
acquired. We believe in technology, in the triumph of the creation
You have
of the
this whole
ancients
city and this
over the
whole group of
horrors and
people
evils
that
of the
you
wasteland.
feel like you might deal
We
with a
believe in
lot.
Trust. Trust in technology. Trust in our fellow brothers. Trust in our
But-
elders. And we believe in victory. Our forces have dwindled, but still we fight on. Super mutant, Enclave, it matters not.
You're not
Surrender
really,
is not an option.
I think, going to come back to
We
this
first
whole
arrived in the
area.
Capital Wasteland in 2255. In those first couple of years, we discovered the Citadel, super mutants, and Project Purity. The Purifier. What an undertaking. The work your father and his team did was amazing. The Brotherhood helped protect them, you know, at least for a little while. But we were stretched thin as it was, even back then. We had to pull our forces out. When we did, the place was overrun. I imagine that's when your father left. I'm sorry. I wish things had turned out differently.
Yeah, I just don't see how
Very
you're
well.
going to...
Yes, what about them? Have you?
How you're going to
It saddens me
come
to
to
hear
this
about it.
area.
Their names shall be written into the scrolls, to be remembered forever. As for you, here's your reward. Use it well and in good health. I look forward to our next meeting.
And I suppose if I'd turned all of those in and been well rested, I would have gotten 10% bump. Are we really concerned about that, though? We're at level 26 now. We max out in 4 levels. Like, level 30 is it. Let's go check out the B ring. Just more stuff to potentially look at. Have we read all of this? I think we have, yeah. It's funny that they're using bottle caps. Recon armor, helmet. A lot of the junk that we have is a Brotherhood of Steel Knight, but outside of his armor. Like, you would almost assume that they would have their own currency and that many people would have their own currency. Let's see. Hunting rifles and standard nonsense. I just expect... I'm still looking for that book. I'm still looking for a bobblehead. Sawbones with a medical storage and a medical terminal. So let's talk to Sawbones.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Reference to
medical procedures initiated. Administering error.
Sawbones has damaged you.
There has been an error in the medical subsystem. Please run a level 2 diagnostic.
Okay. So now we have to fix it.
Command accepted. Beginning level 2 systems diagnostic. Please stand by.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency. Is Voyager, Star Trek Voyager reference.
Diagnostic complete. Results indicate a level 7 degradation in neural pathway 0x63A.
Why would a computer have a neural pathway? Are there human brains in it? Probably. Let's see. Let's see.
Neural pathway 0x63A82 governs the motor control interface, bridging the main medical software and the unit's manipulator arms. The current damage level would cause erratic behavior, potentially forcing the unit to behave outside of design parameters.
Well, let's see if we can fix him. I don't need him as a companion, and the idea of them potentially giving me 2 companions in the same area really sucks.
Neural pathway 0x63A82 rerouted through neural pathway 0x374E82. Stand by. Full motor functions restored. Diagnostic reveals no critical failures. Asshole.
Let's see. Let's try that again.
Medical procedures initiated. Administering treatment. Please stand still.
Why am I fading out here?
Medical procedure complete. Further instructions. Acknowledged. Unit deactivating. This troop is hitting the rack.
Well, that healed me and that fixed him. Doesn't seem like there was really any quest other than that, though. That was just, is your science high enough? We will take that, certainly. It does definitely feel like the Brotherhood is somewhat stretched thinner than you would have thought, as far as equipment and bullets and armor. And we could sleep in a bed, but that would be negative karma. Still worth it to get scrap metal, if anything, and that's the only quest besides holotags that are giving XP, that and books. Grabbing Nuka-Colas. So you would think that they would have books, but it's like the Brotherhood of Steel only cares about technology and doesn't care about books as much. But they do care about books. They just care about them. The one scribe in the library cares about them. Just a lot of different locations to search here also. It's kind of too much. You'd almost expect this to be irradiated. And the facility looks a little bit nicer than most facilities with these computers, but that's about it. They are still... Take a spatula since I don't think I've ever seen one before. You've got nicer beds and slightly nicer design. And that's it. And here we have Elder Lions, so I assume this is Elder Lion's personal location. So it's a little bit nicer, but it's also fairly empty too. Real question as far as just why anybody would still be smoking. My notes.
According to our latest reconnaissance report, Enclave soldiers have taken complete control of the Project Purity facility. They brutally murdered innocent scientists, including James. He went there to revive the project and
they're rewriting history a little bit there.
They will answer for their crimes. I haven't worked so hard just to sit idly by and watch the Enclave undo what little we've accomplished here.
Let's see. Whole bunch of notes.
Hail.
So we could get into Elder Lion's. Ooh, Squire Mason.
Hail to you, stranger. I'm
Kid.
Squire Maxon, loyal servant of steel. It is an honor to make your acquaintance.
Yeah, it's always weird when you see a kid out of nowhere.
Well, thank you.
Because there's
Your
so few
words are
kids.
Very kind. Kinder than those I usually hear. Is there something I can help you with?
Let's see.
No. But I could. I know I'm ready. I mean, it would be scary, but it's not fair that I have to sit inside while the knights go on patrol. I did go out one time, you know. Sarah, Sentinel Lions took me out, just to show me. I killed a super mutant too, I swear. I also sort of shot Sarah, but just a little. It was just a flesh wound. Oh, well, you see, I am descended from the great Roger Maxon, founder of our order. I am the last of his line. They say my soul was forged from eternal steel, but I don't believe that. I'm really just a normal boy. I was sent to the Citadel many years ago to be fostered by Elder Lions, but that was before the Western Elders lost faith in the Elder. I really don't know if I'll ever get home, but, well, I kind of like it here. Sentinel Lions has been very kind to me. She's taught me so much.
So he might technically be a hostage that Elder Lions is using, even though it doesn't seem like they're really mistreating him. It'd be kind of silly to ask some things.
You're asking me what I think about the Enclave? Well, the Brotherhood of Steel has actually faced the Enclave before, back west, more than 30 years ago, according to our chronicles. Judging from those records, I'd say their soldiers are outfitted in advanced power armor Mark II. It's pretty strong, better than our power armor, and some of their technology is amazing. Vertibirds, plasma weapons that can turn a man to goo. Does that help?
So he's giving me some decent information.
Oh, yes. I've studied them quite a bit since I've been here. They're not all the same, you know. Besides the regular ones. There are also brutes. And after them, the masters. They're really tough. But the worst of all? The behemoth. He's a giant. I saw one once, outside the Citadel walls. So scary.
This again would have been great information a long time ago.
But Elder Lyons doesn't actually think they're from there, or we would have found their home by now. It kind of seems like they're looking for something, but we're not really sure what that is.
I'm not really sure what they're looking for either.
Very well.
As someone who's played the game. Yeah, I don't know how I could come in here and like potentially open a safe and not be seen. So let's make a safety save. And let's see if we can activate the terminal and get in here. Well, that was lucky. Seems to be pretty nice. Birthday. We could overlock the safe. We got no comment whatsoever from her seeing me break into the safe. So she seemed not to care. We're actually kind of high on bobby pins even. If it's going a little here. Well, I had 22 bobby pins. It seems like it's so close. Alright. Okay, well, take that, take that, take that, and take that. And it seems like I'm still perfectly fine with that. Either that, because I didn't lose any karma at all.
Here I sit in the safety of the Citadel, while the people of the wasteland thirst and suffer and die. Here I sit a failed, feeble old man. What have I really accomplished? How many have I truly helped? The super mutants still roam rampant. The people still die of thirst and radiation. The Western elders cease to acknowledge my existence. Some of my own people have even gone outcast. And now the Enclave, technologically superior, infinitely resourceful. The time has come to pass the mantle to more able hands. But is she ready?
So, Old Man Lyons is going to step down. Smuggler's End uses E-cells and does 19 damage. Which is a far cry from 154 damage, certainly. Or 53 damage here. Or 55 damage here. So, you really would have had to have been very early in the game for that to have been useful. Yeah. Weird. Weird that you can just take all that and you're on such good terms with them that they just don't care. It's weird that we don't have any pre-war books. It's weird that that didn't start any real quest. This map also puts us in a weird position because to get out, you have to go back to the A-ring. Then we have to figure out where we could go to enter. Interesting. Apparently a main quest has us talking to somebody. Let's go figure out who we're supposed to be talking to. Scribe?
Ah, you're back. You need something else now.
Let's see. Vault 87 has a Gek, but I don't know where it is.
Well,
actually, I do know.
believe I can help with. Step over here for a moment. I'll show you where it is.
Over where? He's gonna walk me all the way back to that map, I bet, in the courtyard. Interesting. We're going to the courtyard one way or the other. Which is fine, because that's where I was headed anyways. It definitely feels like there's barely a game when you interact in these sections, because it is so non-violent. And ideally, you definitely want to find a better mix where people have conversations with you and you talk to people, but then also there's some action. Like having these giant plateaus of like rising action, and I wouldn't call them peaks and valleys. I would definitely call them plateaus and troughs, where you spend potentially hundreds of, well, you could easily spend at least 10 hours just running around the overworld shooting things with no story happening at all. And then when you get into story modes, through no fault of your own, you still end up having a lot of dialogue in one go. And see, this is our character just standing there. They're gonna spawn in whenever we enter an area. The only real problem I would say with her as your companion is that she just uses a hammer, so she's gonna get in the way of the gun, I imagine, a little bit. But I won't trade her out as just a pack mule. She's good, so I'll keep her until I can get a better companion, of which, with high karma, the only other companion we seem to even have as an option is
This map shows the locations of all known vaults in the local area. Vault 87 has been highlighted for you. There. Entrance to Vault 87 will be particularly difficult for you, I'm afraid.
Why? What's difficult about it?
The area is highly irradiated. Lethal levels are all around the entrance. Gaining direct access will be quite impossible.
Let's see. There's got to be another way.
Quite simply, you don't. To attempt such a thing would be certain death for you. You share your father's determination, it seems. And in this case, you are correct. There may well be another way. Vault 87 is located very close to the site of Lamplight Caverns. It is entirely probable that the vault may be entered from within.
And see, that's why we really couldn't do anything with Lamplight Caverns, because it's part of the main story.
No, I'm afraid not. After initial attempts to cross the radiation failed, it was decided to focus our efforts elsewhere. You, however, are free to do as you choose. More exploration may be useful, and I'll certainly be interested in anything you might find. I wish we could do more, but the Brotherhood potentially faces a very pressing, very real threat in the Enclave. All of my efforts must now be devoted to assessing the threat they may pose to us. I'm sure you understand.
I'm assuming that so here's Vault 101. Do we have a Vault 106 on the map? 101, 106. Okay, yes. And then he has Vault 108 and 92. They're actually missing some vaults. There. 108. And then 92. But I don't think they found... Oh, maybe they did find them all. It's kind of not worth even checking out. But yeah. Okay. So next part of the quest will be search lamplight. Which means let's get back up to the area. Let's get the power armor training. And then we're going to have to think about like whether it's worth it to always wear power armor or not. And this definitely feels like an area that is much like the front courtyard of the Wizard's Tower in Skyrim. And you'd think that there would be a lot of things here. But honestly, I don't know if there actually is that much going on here. Like, you have initiates kind of living outside. And they said they found the Citadel. They didn't build it. So somebody else was here before them.
The area around Galaxy News Radio is nearly secure.
Let's see. It goes to the laboratory. And then you've got two people just bare knuckle boxing as a way of training. Yeah. You basically have to assume that the Citadel is a fictional, like, military building that does not really have much of an equivalent as far as the DC universe. Everybody's happy with us. There's a lot of places where you can potentially practice shooting at things if you wanted to. And they all have these laser weapons, but it seems like their laser weapons are worse than our laser weapons.
Initiate,
there we go.
You've got a lot of nerve to interrupt. Oh, my apologies, stranger. I thought you were one of these worthless initiates.
And this guy's voice,
these kids would be lost without me here to powder their asses.
He's the one that did the beginning intro, but he's also so notable. I'm fairly certain he voiced some other characters, and his voice acting does stand out in a negative way. He really should blend in more. In a more modern game, you'd probably do facial technology to get his voice to match more of his of the actor's actual appearance, and that would certainly help a lot. But also, it does sound like he is just doing an impression, whereas nowadays, a lot of video game voice acting is much more closer to someone just talking and using their natural voice instead of doing a cheesy impression, or the voice actors have just gotten better and they can actually do impressions. Alright. We want to use power
Heard you
armor.
were coming. Yeah, I can train you, but don't ask me to like it. My initiates sweat blood, and you just get a free pass? Anyway, you ready for this? Now look, to wear power armor, first thing you need to do is relax your muscles. Let the suit do the work, okay? Now you.
So fade out to black again. You received the specialized training needed to move in any form of power
What
armor.
aid can I offer you, outsider? I am charged with the duty of turning these maggots into brothers of steel. With the threat of the Enclave, they're likely going to be pressed into service before they've taken the oath. So I've got a lot of work to do. Killing unarmed civilians makes me sick. Come over here. Try fighting someone who shoots back. Fucking cowards.
Alright.
If you'll excuse me, I need to go show these fish how to shoot straight.
And that's pretty much all of the Citadel, so it's probably the reason why I don't remember it either, is that I probably came in here once, had the conversations necessary in the main story. I assume if I'd reached this area before I was allowed to enter, I would have just hit the wall and not been allowed to enter. Feels like a super mutant behemoth should spawn in this area and you have a big fight, but I don't think that actually happens. There's a lot of little things here that would have to just be destroyed or broken for super mutants or behemoths to attack. That is not where I meant to go. I could probably fast travel out of this location. And the robot obviously is going to come up from here. And so he's going to have to crash through a wall in some direction. Is it the flag that's the way out to the wasteland? Yes, it is. And loading the whole day-night cycle and everything. Yep. Really foggy too.
Welcome. Do not interfere with security operations.
Okay. So, like, possibly if I walked over in these areas, I might find something that I haven't seen as we walk towards, like, the riverboat landing. But what I want to really do is walk in this general direction. Let's see. Is it this bridge? Or is it this way? Because that's the question. Which way would we run into a wall, or would we not run into a wall? Now it might get very annoying if we get these lines of dialogue from our companion of "your father will be proud of you," or "would be proud of you" over and over again. I suppose that is designed to tell the player that, hey, your karma is good, and so you're still safe as far as her concern about leaving you. Yeah, the worst case scenario to happen here would be you would be at like medium neutral karma and then you would take her as a companion, fill up her inventory, and then have her leave with a whole bunch of rather valuable stuff. Alright. This is past Taft Tunnel, so we haven't been here before. Well, that didn't work. Let's see. I think she, my companion, probably has a laser gun she's using. But I didn't give her any bullets, so effectively she can fire the, if she can fire the laser gun, she can do it forever. Which that works for me, certainly. Yeah. We still have a reason to open saves, even though odds are very high that we're fighting somebody. And I'm not getting the subtitled dialogues when I'm far enough away from her, so I don't even know what my companion is saying. Yeah. Either this crosses this bridge this way, or this crosses this bridge a different way. County sewer main line. Let's go in here and see if we've been here before. No.
I've got your back.
And I suppose as long as we keep finding things, we might as well keep looking. Let's see. Even if we were at max level, like, you still kind of have a reason to go and check out this stuff. In a lot of ways, there's just always going to be reasons to go and check out things. This might be where the remaining bobbleheads are. One of the remaining bobbleheads, although we know almost certainly where two of them are. We are back to looking for... Did we come up here? Yeah, we did. Let's see. Was this the other path? Since these guys can have bobby pins on them, At least I know the ghouls can. We will search ghouls. We got slightly irradiated water, not any real big deal. Hey. That one's underwater. Just go ahead and force that one. I think maybe the reason why we've gotten more bobby pins is because I've forced more things. And so it might be a system where the more you force locks, the more bobby pins you get to help you and like push you back into the... Yeah, me shooting these rad roaches is not giving me any experience at all. So I definitely don't want to waste a lot of bullets on them. As far as the local map, we still seem to be given every indication that we've never been here. I'm hearing ghouls. In a lot of ways, this companion is just ruining the peacefulness of playing the game that we've had and enjoyed up until this point by putting in their 2 cents of dialogue. There's a lot of people that obviously have committed suicide. They're, like, arguably, this game should have maybe been rated a little bit higher. Well, I'm sure it was in for mature already, but this could have been a T for teen game if they hadn't thrown that in. I think a more modern version of this game would say, hey, let's not just constantly rely on the idea of depicting people killing themselves, particularly when it's nothing but a cheap pop and it doesn't go to any bigger storyline thing. Like the father blowing himself up and effectively killing himself is acceptable because that's for the storyline and it's not just a cheap pop. At least in my mind, it's more acceptable. Whereas just finding random corpse with knife in front of them, and when she kills something that probably won't give me XP directly. And it's not aggroed on me. So, yeah. Any little bit of XP is probably still worth thinking about getting. There's a whole computer over there. So how do we reach that area? Actually, fairly easily. And we have a big book of science. Some pre-war books. I almost wonder if the pre-war books are replacing comic books we've already gotten. If that was true, though, Assume this door wouldn't have opened any other way. Let's see. It's not really worth it to let the companion fight him, because the companion's going to be too slow. Here we have some jet, so again, kind of cheap pops of just people dying because of drugs. See, I just got a forced a lock open there and got a bobby pin. So if we keep an eye out to see if that is a consistent outcome, that might be interesting. Revelation. Harmonica. Drugs. Nothing else, though. It is a weird, like, catch-22 situation that we have here, is that any and every area might be important, but the vast majority of areas won't be important. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up just dropping us down to a metro area, or makes us go in almost complete circles just to exit out. And it sure would make a lot more sense if you had to clean out dungeons to fight these kinds of smaller insects.
Superior weapons and training. Submit.
Yeah. Definitely would make a lot of sense to still give a reason to fight and shoot rad roaches in particular if you had to clean out an entire environment. And by cleaning out an entire environment, you made it maybe a little bit safer, and maybe that gave you some reward. I'm kind of liking searching ghouls, because ghouls only have bobby pins and caps on them. And arguably, if you could give me a perk that just said don't ever pick up junk, or not even a perk, just really it should be a skill that the game lets anybody toggle on and off, just to say I don't want any of this vendor trash. So I feel like I possibly just triggered something. Yep. Guess technically we're crippled, so we'll take one to uncripple ourselves. After the first one, does seem like we are we may be heading to another place. This does look like this is everything you would need to craft something.
I've got one. Where?
See, there was like a named character. So this may have been one of the guys that was supposed to be mezzed and sent off to the slavers. He is kind of in a uniquely isolated area, so that might make sense. Of course, I don't have the mez gun with me, nor are the slavers alive. Now I've got a storage key. He has quite the amount of Nuka-Cola stuff. So another Nuka-Cola fan. Nuka-Cola clock. If you told me that the Nuka-Colas actually was the source of like all of the ghouls, that would almost make sense too. That was the thing that turned people into ghouls. So it's all very easy stuff. It's weird that this would all be right next to the Citadel. Although in all fairness, I suppose
Enemy contact. Where?
he's got like pet rad roaches. Or not pets really, so much as sources of red roach meat. But we found a key, and what we didn't really find is a lock. You would think it would be in the safe, but don't think it really is. He might have been also one of the people with the keys that we needed to collect. Yeah. For that other mission. That is also a possibility. I suppose. We came that way. Yeah. We came this way. And so we'll go this way. And
Target acquired. Where? You're facing superior weapons training. Submit. All clear. Stand down.
okay. We're now in some kind of teddy bear factory. Which, yeah, seems like we have to see a factory for every single thing. That's an interesting sewer entrance. Take the scrap metal. This leads to Grey Ditch. Interesting. And now that we have a companion that we want to kind of listen to and see what they're up to, we don't particularly want radios on even more than usual. I'm just swearing off sugar bombs at this point. I'll take old books, I will take scrap metal, and I will take anything if there's a small possibility I haven't collected it before. Vodka and flour in particular. We're not really seeing a lot of flour, so I may very well get like one Mississippi mud pie with one bit of flour, and that might be all I can manage. So one goes to the Capital Wasteland, and one goes to Grey Ditch, and one goes to the sewer. Right. So we are in an area that hasn't been investigated that much, and that took us out.
Enemy contact. Where?
Like, do we even care? It may be better off to lean on these Talon Company mercs attacking and repairing my armor because of that, instead of actually using power armor. Like, because these Talon Company mercs are still like leveling up to a certain level. They've got laser rifles. Can still get 2 XP from a vicious dog. Does this door enter in a different way? No. Interesting. Seriously, just die already. So this side says Capital Wasteland, the other one says Grey Ditch. It's just slightly, I guess, over the line, and maybe that was an intentional experiment, or maybe that was just a kind of glitch experiment. I do know that one of the super mutant behemoths spawns by taking a teddy bear out of a shopping cart, but I have no idea where that is. So it could be over here, or it could be miles from where we are. We could go back to the Citadel and try and investigate some more, but I imagine there isn't that much more to investigate. Let's just fast travel to Megaton, and yeah.
I wish there were more people like you in the world.
Kind of am just taking.
I want you to have this. I hope it helps keep you safe.
We did just get the Vault 101 emergency signal. Yeah, so that we can do that story now. I kind of am just taking this from the perspective of what was I even gonna say? I don't remember. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just assume that I'm going to fail at getting 100% of everything.
What do you require? In the words of Elder Theus, a brother well equipped is a brother keeping to his duty.
See, I think I will just tell her to wait here.
Lead the way.
Alright. And I guess the question to ask is the dog up here now. Nope, the dog is gone. So dog meat went back to the salvage yard. As best as I can tell.
Good morning, madam. What can I do for you?
This guy is just stuck.
Certainly.
Oh, I didn't know he could give me purified water. Not that I need it. Alright. So if we've got everything, can we make a bottle cap mine? No. Can we make a dart gun? No. Can we make a death claw gauntlet? No. Can we make a nuka grenade? No. Can we make this? No. And this? No. We can make one shish kebab. And that is it. So my eclectic OCD collection of miscellaneous items has proven itself to be fairly useless. And almost certainly doesn't actually hold any real value. $31 Deathclaw hands, for instance. A dog bowl. 25 empty Nuka-Colas. 126 empty soda bottles. Fusion batteries. Flour, we have 2 of. Forceps. Geomapper module, we'll hold on to that. It doesn't matter anymore. Let's see. What I think I want to do is probably sell things, but then is there really a reason to even try and sell things? Most of these things are totally like valueless. Anyways. Wasteland Survival Guide for not worth holding on to. Alright. Yeah, I don't have any reason to waste time around trying to sell these items, so let's just get rid of things that we have no use for. I could sell pre-war money. I have 250 of that. I wonder also if there's a certain level in which having 250 of pre-war money may be the maximum one can have. So the assault rifle and that we can sell. Throwing master versus a flamer. We'll take that. Batman. Laser pistols versus smuggler's end. Laser pistol does 13, where Smuggler's End does, I think, slightly more than 13. Neither one of which are useful. Let's see, Old Painless and Lincoln's Repeater. 2 named weapons there. Power Fist versus the Shocker. We'll get rid of the Power Fist. The Repellent Stick, absolutely useless. Shish Kebab is already at maximum, so we now have another Shish Kebab. But wouldn't it have made a lot more sense for these named weapons to actually be things that you could repair and build more of? Like, instead? Let's see. Yeah. I do think that would make a lot more sense. So 45 weight for Brotherhood power armor and 40 damage resistance. Chinese combat hat. We actually had one of those already. Crow's Eyebot helmet. We can repair that more. Dirty Chinese jumpsuits. We merge those together. Enclave is 50. Enclave Hellfire is 50 with weight of 40. I think that's what you would wear, but boy, is that going to potentially mess you up. So damage resistance is now like at 74. And that would get you up to a damage resistance of 80. Yeah. I think that means also we probably don't hold on to more than one copy of the power armor, standard Enclave power armor. And do we get rid of the ghoul masks at this point? Because we can't equip the ghoul mask. I mean, I've been killing the ghouls anyway, so the light weight on it was really the only thing that was useful. Vault Lab uniform instead of Lesko's. I think we'll repair that. Really should just be a lot more flippant on all of this. Yeah. Party hats. Power armor, specifically, we get rid of in favor of prototype medic power armor or outcast power armor. Let's see, what is this one? -1 agility. That's 40. Damage resistant, 45 weight. Pain giver armor versus Raider throwdown armor. Which, this is unarmed +4, this is unarmed +3. These definitely feel like different things. Ranger battle armor. We can repair. See, that's 40 at 27 plus 5 action points plus luck +1. I think you probably want to keep the Ranger armor on. Like, Yeah, that would be a drop of 11 damage resistance, but it's a drop of 13 weight. This is far too much stuff also. Roving trader outfit with another roving trader outfit. Sexy sleepwear with another sexy sleepwear. This one is damage resistant to 50 with a weight gain of 40. Wish you could kind of compare this. Charisma +1. Tacoma Park. Little League cap. Seems like I need more pre-war baseball caps to repair that. Tesla armor is too heavy. Tinted glasses versus sunglasses, neither one of which seem to be anything. 101 jumpsuit, 106 jumpsuit, 108 jumpsuit, 112 jumpsuit, Vault 77 jumpsuit. And then that.
Be vigilant.
Okay. So.
Yes. What do you require? In the words of Elder Theus, a brother well equipped is a brother keeping to his duty.
Let's give a named weapon that is super heavy to this character, even though that will take up their weight. Something fairly crazy that we would just never use. Reservations rifle, reservist rifle, may be a good point there because that'll keep her in the back. The other things we might think about is just giving her something like the Burn Master, which would burn people, or not sure we really have. We could give her Vengeance also. Vengeance is also, I think, a good one to give to her. Now, as far as armor, this is where it's going to get questionable. Damage resistance 50. Or for 40 weight. Yeah, I think what we're going to have to do here is we're going to give her the either power armor here and the T51B power armor. And then I think I'm probably going to just wear the Ranger battle armor for half the weight. Which at a certain point means I am just doing the same thing anyways because I'm taking up her space. One other thing we could do is have me wear the fire resistance plus 30 and red resistance plus hellfire armor equipment.
Lead the way.
Alright, so we'll give her that weapon. By the way, you can't take her default weapon and make her completely vulnerable. Let's see this. I'm going to keep one of these, this, keep one of those, this, this one, this one, that one, that one, that one. Just trying to hold on to name things and things of potential value. I guess the shocker does technically do electrical damage, but oddly is like the only weapon that does electrical damage. And then this Chinese Zhurong as gun is the only gun that does fire damage. Seems fairly crazy. Yeah. Hold on, one of those. One of those. Brotherhood power armor helmet. We'll hold on to one, I guess, copy of these. I guess also power armor we really shouldn't sell. Think we probably could sell this environment suit though. A lot of this stuff is fairly useless. Mark grunt armor. Like nightwear. Yeah, I suppose we should just hold on to things that are named or that are power armor that I assume I'm going to be able to use later. In a funny way, wearing the roving trader outfit might be the best move of all the options because it's the only one that actually will improve anything. Some of these outfits, I think also there is an argument to potentially splitting this up again, putting all the pointless low-level things that we're holding on to in a different location. Alright. Do we have any vodka? Yes. Do we have any flour? No. I kind of want to hold on to the food sanitizer. Let's see. We'll put the dirty water here. Monk fruit here. A whole bunch of Nuka-Cola Quantums. I may have reason to come back and get all the Nuka-Colas and try and give them to the kid who's addicted to Nuka-Cola and Little Lamplight. Particularly if we find out that that gives us some level of experience. Let's go and read that book to increase our barter. Read that to increase our stuff. We have 2 flour. We have 3 vodka. And I feel kind of light on my feet even. Has this flour always been here? Yep. If I had some house stuffs that I could have been putting up this whole time. Let's see. Probably save myself a little bit of frustration. No? There is a house thing in my inventory. Love machine theme, but you can't take it out of your inventory, oddly. Alright. It is 10 a.m. So we'll sleep for an hour. We'll go this way. Notice how your companion just spawns in front of you. We have not done anything in Megaton other than turn in the items in a long time. Wow, I did not realize we'd been this late too. I thought we were much closer to 3 hours, and he's not in here. Must have been standing outside. Yep, here he is taking a smoke break.
Yeah, what is it? Well, all right. Let me count out your cash.
44 more XP. And as we move the story forward, if we're going to get like 700 XP, we could actually look at the numbers here. 700 more XP wouldn't get me up to the next level. Really, I need, wow, about 1800 more XP to get to the next level. But it is also worth mentioning that we still have plenty, just absolutely plenty of DLC. Fix that.
What do you need?
Okay, so now we're just gonna try and sell a whole bunch of stuff. Sell that one, and then sell all but one of those. Sell that. That. Hold on to the plasma rifle. Sell that. Some of these I may very well have just opted not to put up. Would I ever use a scoped 44 Magnum? Maybe we should play with it. Yeah. So you have a plasma rifle that uses MF versus the tri-beam rifle, which shoots MF. 47, weight 8, 79. Yep. I think we sell the plasma rifle. Sell that. Sell that. That. And that. We don't have anything to sell over there. Our caps are at nearly 40,000. I didn't realize we were anywhere close to that. That's kind of insane. There really would be no reason why you would buy anything from her as far as ophthalmoscope. Interesting. I don't think I've seen one of those. wood chipper, pressure cooker. There is almost a question here of buying a bunch of these to see if maybe we could craft up an item or two. I mean, we're kind of wasting our caps anyways. Okay.
Good hunting. Come back soon.
So what I'll do now is go back to the house and we will dump everything we just got in for another day. I really wish there was some way to just move this guy out of being stuck in this corner, which maybe there is, because he doesn't want to, I think, hover over the bed. So if I just nudge him in that general direction, maybe that'll help. Although I'm not sure that was particularly the direction you would want to go. Pre-war books. Our weight is down to like 53. What do we have equipped as far as apparel? Oops. Sure hope I didn't sell something important. Where's the ranger armor? Where's... Let's see. Certainly would explain why I'm so light at 53 grams. Yeah, ranger battle armor. And then helmets. What helmet do we want? Like roving training hat at 1 for +5 barter is actually one to consider, because everything else is at like 100, and when something's at 100, I assume it's at that point just maxed out. I could wear a power helmet for 5 for 5. Suppose that would work. I could try to get agility +1. I think that arguably is still what we would want. 8 for weight of 5 for an outcast power helmet. We might end up just wearing a power helmet with regular body armor. Although it might also just be that the power armor for the weight is worth it. You lose charisma, though. A perception +1 is not something we really need. Barter +5, perception -1, intelligence +1, speech +10. That does quite a bit. So if I was just looking for damage resistance, I would stick with Brotherhood power armor. But actually, since we are just on that gets me up to like 82 with a damage resistance of 61. I think that's more than enough, actually, because I have so many stim packs. It would just be a problem if all of a sudden I started getting hit and started dying like crazy because I was getting hit. Fast travel to Arlington Library and see if now that we found the Citadel, if that gets us treated any differently.
Welcome back. Have you been successful in your search for books?
I don't think it really has.
Excellent. Very well. Here is your reward.
Some more
Use
XP.
it well and return with more books when you can. You have no... Steel be...
Okay. Now, inventory wise, I want to try this gun, so I'm going to equip it. Don't have anything else here that weighs anything. We have plenty of stim packs. We have a whole bunch of stuff. This one pre-war book is either glitched. I mean, we should probably just drop it and then pick it up again and see if maybe we can turn it in now.
Welcome back. Have you been successful in your search for books? You...
Interesting. So you just have like this special pre-war book, which is not even the same as I think Paradise Lost, which I think is another thing, but maybe it isn't. So like maybe that's some DLC thing. Sure, if I found a good shotgun, I could probably use that, but or a good flamer gun, I could use that. Definitely wouldn't want to use the alien gun for as little bullets as it uses. A 32 caliber gun of some value would also be useful, but actually we could just go back to that gun and use the Chinese assault rifle. Damage resistance is 61, our weight is 67. Puts us in a nice position. Quest line. We have two things. We can't hear the Vault 101 distress signal from this point. And they clearly wanted us to hear that distress signal on the radio and run into that side quest as we were wandering back from the Citadel to Little Lamplight, which is our main quest. But first, let's see. Let's fast travel to Girder Shade. And get some Mississippi mud pies. I was actually going to... I had second thoughts about actually grabbing all the Coca-Colas. Nuka-Colas. Why is she upset? Is she exercising? Or is she afraid of Star Paladin? Why are you fleeing? Is she fleeing because of this? Interesting. I don't think she's programmed to. Don't think she's programmed to leave her place. There are no enemies around here, though.
There is a foul stench on. I shall reflect.
Alright, you wait there. Let's see if she's still concerned. Yes. Like, every time I put the cursor on her. Like, did I rob her? Did I steal something from her? Yeah, I have no idea.
It is well to see you again. Very well. I stand by your side. Lead the way.
Yeah. We'll have to come back here and see what happened and why she's all of a sudden fleeing. I kind of feel like this Protectron put her in that mode. I don't think I did anything to her. If she won't make the Mississippi mud pies for me, then effectively you don't have anybody that will do that for you. That's unique to her.
Oh my God! Are you real? You're here to save us?
Interesting DLC guy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So this is where we started. It's been a very long journey, certainly. And there's still more to do. Alright. If we are over here, we should be able to hear a radio station. Vault 101 emergency beacon.
This is an automated distress message from Vault Tech. Vault 101. Message begins.
It feels like you left home a long time ago, but I know you're still out there. I just hope you're still alive to hear this. Things got worse after you left. My father's gone mad with power. If you can hear this, please stop looking for your dad and help stop mine. I changed the door password to my name. If you're hearing this, and if you still care enough to help me, you should remember it.
Message repeats. This is an...
So, okay. I don't know who Warner is either. No audio is playing at all with that. We can recon craft Theta beacon versus Radio Sigma, Oscar, and Sierra. Whole bunch of radio signals here that we can't find. They don't really do a lot with the they really don't do a lot with the quest lines and the radios. As far as giving you quest lines, you'd kind of think you would just constantly have the radio on every time you're in the overworld, and it wouldn't even give you an option, and you would constantly be hearing more people sending out distress signals. Alright, well, we are nearly at 4 hours, so this is definitely the point to make a save file. If I can't get Mississippi mud pies, that's a small loss. Storyline wise, though, we had a whole bunch of dialogue we pretended to read, a whole bunch of dialogue we pretended to listen to. We moved the main story forward so we could get into the Citadel. We can now wear power armor, but unless we start to see as many or nearly as many people attack us from the Enclave, giving us more power armor to repair power armor, it kind of feels like you could only wear power armor if you don't want to pick up anything, which arguably, even at this point, had you just done the main game, maybe that was the lesson a lot of players should have learned, is just wear the power armor because that's useful and valuable. Don't pick up all the vendor trash instead. But yeah, unless we stop seeing the Talon Company attack us, and we started seeing more Enclave attack us, or we started wearing power armor and we realized actually power armor does not need to be repaired as often as other armor, it kind of is quickly approaching like a no-go as far as an item. Also, we really don't have that many enemies that you need to wear power armor with. Even the Enclave themselves are easily taken down before they shoot fast enough to hurt me, at least on very easy mode. Again, maybe if I was at normal mode or difficult mode, I would have needed to get power armor as soon as possible and would have needed to get trained in wearing it as soon as possible to even stand a chance. But playing on easy, it's been a breeze. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.